Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Every year for February, we have to have a new intro just for the month's programming, and that's the one for February 2022. Welcome. This is the first show, and I'm actually glad that this first show is something that I'm used to doing because, I don't really have that many guests on the show during the course of the year, only during February, and I kind of get out of practice. But we got so much. I hope you guys saw the upcoming listing of topics. I didn't have room to put the guest names on there as well, but I did put the topics so that you can, find your way to the playlist for February and click a reminder for the videos that you're really interested in seeing. Make sure you don't miss them, because each one, even if it's an upload, is going to be set up as a premiere, so you can still go in there and chat amongst yourselves and have your little usual party. And then we have a lot of live streams as well, so where you'll be able to ask questions of the guests. We have a lot of those coming up the rest of this week. So I hope you guys are there with your questions, because I sure will be taking them. And yeah, look at all these people in the house. All right, let's get ready to get started. What the Fuck Tuesday, in case you just wandered in, is a weekly relationship advice show. The questions are sent in advance. My lovely cousin Candace puts them into this document for me. I read the questions and then I give an answer right off the top of my head. I do not see the questions before I read them to you. So this is like whatever the letter says is a surprise to both of us. So I don't have any extra, any extra time to think about it. Yes, I knew you would like that, Onyx. I just knew you. Oh, and look, what, you guys? Okay, first of all, let me just explain. I found a box of my old jewelry. This is not part of the show. This is my usual thing where I'm running off at the mouth. I found a box of old jewelry, and I'm talking old, like from when I was in high school, like that kind of stuff. And these little earrings, these used to be my favorite earrings. I had a pair with this red tone, with this red and purple, and brown or something. I don't know what color it is. But anyway, I had a pair of this, and then I had a pair of purple and black ones too, my two favorite colors. And I cannot believe that I still have them. So I wore them in honor of February. I'm like, who keeps stuff this little? I probably paid about $5 for them, if that. Because in high school, you don't have no money. But I kept them all this time. So I said, well, let me wear these things. I forgot. So it's taking me back, making me feel young. So let's get started with our questions, since we have 25 advice questions with one bonus question, it says. So here we go. Question number 1. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group. She's out of San Jose, California. I need advice on what to say to a guy in my school. How do I hint to him that he's the guy that's interested in me, that I'm not interested in him? I meet him regularly because we take the same classes at school, at college. He just started texting me, and I didn't reply because I'm not interested. I can't avoid his text or him forever since I'll be seeing him every day. I don't want to immediately say that I'm not interested in him because what if he says he's just trying to make friends? That's just going to be awkward and embarrassing. But I also don't want to lead him on. What do I do in such an instance? This is so sad. Your parents sent you away to college and you don't know, you don't have any skills. This is, I mean, I'm not yelling at you. I'm just saying this was bad parenting. All right, so I'm going to tell you. I'm really kind of confused. First of all, how did he get your phone number? Were you guys in a study group or something? I mean, what? How did that happen? Okay, but whatever. But that's something to think about in the future if you don't want these kind of unwanted um, texts and calls. Get you a Google phone number, and if you have to do something at school or whatever, you can set it so it rings to your phone. But they'll never have your real number, and you can ignore it completely, turn it off, disconnect it temporarily from ringing on your phone. You have all kind of options with that service. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. So you didn't say what kind of stuff he's texting you. That would have been important to know too. So you automatically assume that he was interested in this age group. You're probably right. But I would say, to answer because you need to get clear on what it is, why he's texting you. So you can ask him and say, oh, I'm surprised you're texting me. What's going on? Like, because you really do want to know, and so does my nosy butt. What's going on, so he could tell you why he's texting you, right? And then if he says anything like, well, I want to go out, do you want to hang out, let me take you out to lunch, let me take you out to dinner, do you want to go to the game with me, whatever he says, you say, no thank you, I'm not trying to date anybody at school, especially nobody in my classes. And he's going to say, oh, come on, come on, come on. I just want to be friends. And then that's when you say, what part of no did you not understand? Do you need me to say it in some other language? What's going on here? Now, see, that's when you ante up. And some people say, oh, that's rude. But see, I feel like if you already said no, and you were very clear, speaking very clear English, right? Then anything he says after that, he's trying to argue you down and he's trying to manipulate you into giving him what he wants at your expense because you already said no. So once a guy starts with that routine, or it actually doesn't even have to be a guy, it could be some other woman, a family member, doesn't care who, I don't care who it is. But bottom line is you said no. They don't respect that, so they keep wheedling you about what they want, and then that's when you release the Kraken. That's it. You just do and say whatever you want to because they took you there. So I crack my knuckles and I just go in, and that's just how I do things. Oh, Leandra has made her way back. Oh my gosh, I feel like I need to go over there and get her autograph. She's been MIA lately. Yeah, poor thing. So, that's what you got to do. And I suggest you spend some time on this channel looking at boundaries and listening to some of the What the Fuck Tuesday advice shows so you can hear some of the drama that other women have gotten themselves into. So you can kind of get an idea of how to handle yourself because you're young, you're only, in the 18 to 21 age group, just starting college most likely. This is only the beginning. So you really know how to set and maintain firm boundaries. As a matter of fact, we have a show on it coming up in February. A guy coming in to talk about boundaries for women because women just really struggle with that. But hey, Shay, I saw you over there, but I was in the middle of running my mouth, so I just kept on talking. All right, let's move on to question number 2 of 26. Question number 2, female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's from Florida. Hi, Miss Deb. I'm a fan of your work and I've been watching your videos for quite some time. Your videos have helped me gain confidence and be more assertive. I've been having a major issue and I need advice on how to handle it. I'm 29 and have recently started college again after dropping out 6 years ago. Back then, I just wasn't ready, but now I'm in a better place and focused on my education. I'm around Gen Z kids, usually in the 18 to 21 range, and this gender-neutral woke language is driving me crazy. Oh, God, I know what you mean. I thought this pronoun issue was only on social media sites, but it has leaked into real life. You have to realize that, let me just say this now before I forget, in this age group, real life to them is social media. That's why they take all those selfies and be online all the time. They don't even talk to each other when they're out together in groups. Everybody's head is down and they're on their phones. It's the most bizarre thing. But so you still in the age group where people had real conversations and did real stuff. Everything that they do and say and think is connected with the internet. It's the most bizarre thing. So let me continue. To preface, I'm a pretty feminine looking woman. I have a short bob haircut and a petite frame. I have a slightly deeper voice than most women, but I obviously look like a woman, and I've been dumbfounded about how many times I'm asked my pronouns or I'm afraid referred to as they. I hate that shit. The first time it completely caught me off guard because I thought I looked pretty feminine. I'm just so in shock each time it happens and I don't know what to say. There's so many girls in these school clubs and classes that don't want to be girls and they use they/them pronouns and get mad when people refer to them with female pronouns. These girls are completely feminine and don't look androgynous, so how the hell are we supposed to know what they want to be called? So now all these kids are using gender neutral language to not offend anyone. But what pisses me off is how no one refers to a male as they. The people immediately use he and never ask a man's pronouns. I used to have a pixie cut and loved that hairstyle, and now I feel I can't wear or look like what I want because I'll get asked my pronouns. This is extremely tiring, and I need your help. Thank you. The reason why they don't ask men that look like men is because the majority of these people that's going through all this trans stuff are men trying to pretend to be women. That's why they ask what looks to be women what their pronouns are. Just so you up on the situation. Statistically, it's primarily men who are trying to be women, not the other way around. There are some, but we're talking sheer numbers. It's primarily males trying to pass themselves off as female. Okay, so that's one point. The other point is you have to understand, like in my generation, it was the Moonies. Okay, in each generation, there's like a cult-like mentality that permeates the minds of silly young people. They don't know yet how to think for themselves. They are looking for someone to tell them what to do, how to think, how to be, what's okay, what's right. They're very concerned about what's, not doing anything wrong or being looked at, taunted, teased, singled out, all this kind of stuff. So they have a serious pack mentality about everything social. That you're running into that too. This is, these Gen Z kids are just weird like that. Okay, so then on top of that, you have here you are a little older than them, obviously more mature, been out in the world, had jobs, the whole thing. So you're not in that space. You're thinking for yourself. You're used to it. You've already been on your own. You're not going from your parents' house to a dormitory and looking to try to figure out who you are. You already know that. But I'm telling you, when I was growing up in San Francisco, they used to have those Moonies with them orange and the Hare Krishna, whatever they call themselves. Anyway, they would have like these orange sheets wrapped around them, and these are all 99.999% white folks. You didn't see no black folks jumping around on an orange sheet. We all be looking at them like they was crazy. But a lot of these were very wealthy, white kids from affluent families, and they would be signing over, money to these. I mean, they were cults. I don't know what else to call them. That was the Jim Jones era and the Est era and all this kind of stuff when I was a little kid. And so these people, to me, it's the same mentality because somebody said this is what you should do and this is how you should be and this is how you should think. They're all buying into it and they're followers. So it's not very few of them thinking for themselves like, what the hell? You can't morph yourself as a man into a woman. I don't care how much you want to believe it and how much surgery you get and how many pills you take. It's not going to happen. If they don't want to say that because they're afraid. Everyone, even you see them online, they're afraid of, sticking out or being called phobic, some kind of phobic or whatever. They're terrified of that because of their mentality that they need to fit in and be part of the crowd. So I'm going to tell you that, outside of you going to some online class, you still gonna have to deal with it though, because when they have the classes where you all get together and have to interact with each other, you still gonna have to do it. But this is something that I find is really prevalent in this age group. Do I have an answer for you? The only thing you can do is if they ask you what your pronoun is, say, I'm not part of that nonsense. I'm a woman and you address me as such. You say that enough times, word will spread, especially if you say you have a slightly deeper voice. You say it with, some firmness to it, and they should fall right in line. Yeah, they are sheeple. That's exactly the perfect word for it. I saw it when I was a kid. Oh, yeah, the tambourines and jumping around, and they all shaved their head, or they just shaved like the side and they had like a little. Okay, now they call it a top knot, but it wasn't a top knot. It was just a knot, because they didn't have the rest of. They didn't have nothing. It was just skin with a piece of hair that they put in a little bun at the top, where it was bald everywhere else. I'll never forget that, because as a kid, I was just like, why are you doing this to yourself? They would be out on these corners with these sandals or barefoot. And it don't really get hot in San Francisco, even in the summertime. It's cold. And they would be out there with these sheets, orange sheets wrapped around them and stuff. I was like, this is crazy. And I'm telling you, I'm like 7, 8, 9 years old, looking at that stuff like these people are out of their minds. But, and then they ask you for money and stuff. And my daddy used to cuss them out, tell them they need to go home or go back to college or something. It was just so weird. But that mentality is exactly what I'm seeing now. So the only thing I can say is, these kind of organizations or these kind of movements depend on silly, little, young, naive white people, because that's what it is, to be a part of this stuff and to buy into it. And then, it's like all the black kids is like, you crazy, something wrong with you. I'm a dude. I'm a girl. I mean, what are you talking about? So I don't know. I don't know what's going to ultimately happen with this, but yeah, it's like the latest fad. To me, it's also fad for them to talk about they trans too. 7, 8-year-old kids talk about I'm trans. Little boy, let me slap the shit out of you real quick. Let's do that. So, so you get some sense knocked into you, because this just makes no sense to me. But anyway, you remember the Hare Krishnas? I'm telling you, anybody who, LA and San Francisco, probably on the East Coast too, but I was little. I hadn't gone to the East Coast yet. But they was thick in San Francisco. You couldn't go downtown without hearing their little music and just seeing them jumping around and begging for money in them orange clothes. Anyway, let's move on to question number 3. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from Bristol, England. I need to know how I can break it off with my girlfriend respectfully. We've been together for 2 years and 9 months, and I can't commit to her. I feel I should just let her go so she can find someone who wants her. Yeah, absolutely. Good job. But why did it take you 2 years and 9 months to figure that out? See, you ratchet. I know I need to do this face to face. The main reason is that I don't desire her anymore. We haven't been intimate in a year, and I feel like she has become more of a friend. I also think we're not intellectually compatible. What do I say if she asks me why I want to break up? Do I say I don't find her physically attractive anymore? I prefer not to give this as the reason. Or should I say I don't think things are going to work out, or that I can't commit? What do I say? Also, how do I leave the door open for a possible reconciliation? Any advice would be helpful. You want too much. You want to break up, but then you want to keep her on a string so that you can come back if you want to? No. Okay, you already had 2 years and 9 months to make that move, and you haven't made it. You said you can't commit to her, so you're just going to cut ties and you're going to move on because you don't want the girl. You're not going to try to leave no door open for your butt to come dragging back into her life, messing her over again. You was doing okay till you put that part in there. Okay, now you pissed me off. I don't like that. Bristol, England. So what you do is you sit down with her and say, this is the end of the road. This is it. This is as far as we go. And she's going to say, why? Why? I say, because I'm just not feeling it. It's not going to, we can't, it's never going to be what you might be thinking, like marriage and children and stuff. I'm just not feeling it at all. You're a wonderful lady, but, I think you're better off with somebody else, and so am I. That's all you have to say. It's very matter of fact, because see, once people you start getting to explaining too much, and then they want to cry and ask you why a chance. I'll change. That's why I'm always just real cut and dry. And I just say, nope, not going to happen. And I just keep saying that. And then I just get up and walk out. No, this is not a year. He did. He said 2 years and 9 months. That's almost 3 years. And then he finally decided, oh, I don't want to be with her. We're not compatible. Notice the bags under my eyes. Do you know I slept about 3 hours last night because I was so anxious about February? I couldn't sleep. Yeah, words, you don't have to do a whole bunch of talking, but you do have to say, you have to give them something, especially you've been in a relationship that long. You can't just ghost them. I mean, people do, but I mean, it seems like that's not anything that you want to do because you seem to be very concerned about doing it in a way that mitigates the damage to her and the injury, and you want to show respect and all that. And I'm all with you on that. I think that's wonderful. But you have to be very cut and dry and non-emotional, because if you get emotional, it's just gonna be a hot mess. So you gotta, maintain dignity, maintain control, give her a hug, tell her she's great and all this kind of stuff. It's nothing personal, but you just don't, you guys are just not a good match. And then you just leave her. And then don't you call her to see how she's doing. Don't you text her. Stay off her social media pages. As a matter of fact, just delete her number from your phone and everything that she's on. Take it off your bookmarks and stuff like that. Just leave her alone. All right. Question 4. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Santa Ana, California. So the guy I'm meeting at the coffee shop set the time to hang out for only half an hour. I honestly haven't been back out in the dating world the past 3 years. Is this normal? I'm used to honestly longer first meetings. I asked him why only 30 minutes. He said to keep it casual the first time. I used to get a vibe if the person I would at least get along before meeting in the past. I never know about chemistry or anything beforehand, of course, but I do at least get a glimpse through texting if we have a vibe of some sort. With this guy, I honestly don't know if we'll vibe or not. I guess 30 minutes is good because in case we can't stand each other. And she put that smiley face. Perhaps I'm overthinking because it's been so long for me to be out here meeting others. I did take it as if maybe the guy isn't really all that keen about me, but is curious, and so he wants to meet. I'm going to say this. The fact that you've been out of the dating world for the past 3 years, so you was in a 3-year relationship, but now you're trying to get back out there. I'm going to tell you something that you may not understand. The fact that he only wants to be bothered with you or anybody else for 30 minutes, and that's all he's going to commit to, he's my twin, okay? Because that's me. You get 20, 30 minutes max, and then I'm like, oh, look at the time, I must go. Now, what's good about that is you be up and out. If you guys like each other, then you can make a date for, get together in a couple of days, the next weekend, whatever. And if not, then you only spend 30 minutes. As I repeat, time is the one resource on this planet that you can never get back. You can't make more of it. It won't grow. Nothing. You can't replant fields. You can't manufacture it to make more of them. Nothing. Once time is gone, it's gone. So your time is the most valuable resource that you have. You should have something better to do with your time than sit around and drinking coffee and looking at some dust bucket that you met online for an hour or two. That means you don't have nothing going on in your life if you think that that's what somebody should do and you expect that. 30 minutes. It's a meet and greet. Okay? It's not no romance. You don't even know this clown. You go, you lay eyes on him, you see what he's talking about, if he matches with his pictures, what his energy is like. Is he the same height he said he was? Is he looking the age that he says he did? I mean, all that's what that 30 minutes is for. And you ask a couple of important questions to see where his head is, and then you make the determination if there's somebody that you want to see again or not. And guess what? Usually in 15 to 20 minutes, you figure that out, if it even takes that long. You know what I mean? And there's a whole bunch of people on YouTube that, ain't no man gonna take me on a coffee date. My value is higher than that. And they're tying their personal worth into what a complete stranger spends on them on a date. To me, that is the most low self-esteem heifer walking the planet. You don't feel like you nothing. Somebody got to buy you a dinner. You hungry heifer? Feed your damn self. Okay? It's not about that. You're supposed to be in and out, in and out. What's he like? If you do it right, you could have 4 or 5 coffee dates in one day. Just sit in the same place and just rotate people in and out that chair. And then you get to see who you like, if any of them. Because you can't really tell online. It's different. It's not the same. Body language is an important part of communication. Yeah, they are hungry heifers. I was talking about somebody feeding them. In my mind, I start thinking about baby birds. You know how baby birds have their mouth open, making that little chirping sound? I think of them like that. It's like you just want somebody to feed you. Worry about the time you waste on knuckleheads, okay? Because like I said, that's the one thing in this life that you can never get back. You should not waste it on fools, okay? It just makes no sense. So young lady, you need to reframe this. This guy is trying to teach you how to date. You need to pay attention instead of complaining about it. Question number 5, female, 22 to 27 from Washington, D.C. Oh, no. Ooh. And you know what always happens too, glass eyes? If you guys get in there and it's a 30-minute thing, right? That's all you set up for him. Then, and it's just like wonderful. You guys just like, it's easy. It's great. He's cute. You like him. He likes you. It's just y'all vibing. It's just this wonderful thing. You have 2 choices. Notice I'm going back to this. I haven't really finished this letter yet. You have 2 choices. Either you can, because usually the guy will ask you, would you have some time? Let's go get a bite to eat, something like that, right? So he wants to extend the date. You have the option to either say yes and go with him, but I always say no. And you know why? Because one time I did not do it, and I stayed, and then he just became like a Klingon, in that next hour. I was like, oh my God, this guy. So just cut it. Say, I really wish I could, but I only allowed 30 minutes for this, and I have another engagement. I have to go back to work. I have to go pick up my little brother from, daycare. I have to go pick up my mom from the hairdresser. I mean, whatever you gonna say, just to dip out. And then, but maybe we could, we'll touch base and maybe we could do this, sometime later in the week or something like that. What do you think? And then he's gonna say, yeah, I'll call you. And then there you go. You don't have to, it's always better to leave them wanting more of you than it is sick of looking at you. So many women overstay their welcome. Okay. So there you go. Okay, now, here we go. So the young lady, 22 to 27 in Washington, D.C., she says, oh my God, I found out today that the guy I was seeing had a FWB the whole time and didn't even consider us dating. Wow. Dude. This is the backstory. I met him in December 2020. To me, it ended in October 2021. But from April 2021 on, he was quiet because he said he lost family members and was upset about it. So I was still attached in good faith. Normally, I think I was being phased out, but he seemed super honest and communicative. And I did discuss it, and he insisted that he wasn't, and it was other things, and he was believable. These pages are kind of, this is some new paper I bought. I'm like not feeling this. This sticks together. Okay. I found out yesterday that the whole time he was stringing me along and he had friends with benefits throughout it all. He now tells people that we never dated and I was just another casual friends with benefit amongst others and we ended on good terms. Maybe to him we ended on good terms. I sent a really nice goodbye message when he said, let's drop it. But he didn't even give any acknowledgement of it in any form. I'm so stupid and feeling somewhat emotionally traumatized. I'm seeing a therapist next week. I don't know how to cope with feeling so devalued. I've been heartbroken for months over someone who generally doesn't give a crap if I died tomorrow. If he had been honest from the start about what I meant to him, I wouldn't be like this. I'm not saying that he is an overall bad person. I'm running for advice on how to get over the pain of these behaviors. Any coping mechanisms are appreciated. I've already wrote unsent letters, moved, wrote a cons list of him, tried to keep myself busy and distracted, etc. Well, since you're going to see a therapist next week, there's really not too much for me to say, but I'm going to point out some things that you should have noticed. Number one, if you really are somebody's girlfriend, he all up in your mix and you all up in his. You all go to each other's families' houses. Every boyfriend I've had, I spent as much time at his parents' house as he did, sometimes more, because they don't really want to be bothered with their parents too much. So, you go over there and you hang out and take the mama places and go shopping with her and go to lunch with her and all that stuff if you like her. You know what I mean? And so you guys are at each other's house all the time. All your friends know him and his friends. All his friends know you and your friends, and you know each other's family. That's, you know each other's coworkers. That's when you know that you have a real, something real. Don't sound like that happened here because you didn't even know that he had other FWBs. So that means you wasn't really all up in his mix like that, right? Let's be honest here. The other thing is, he dipped out and started, giving you the cold shoulder, talking about I had people that died. Again, if this was a real boyfriend, he would be seeking consolation from you. He would be all up under you because you're his source of comfort. He loves you. He likes to be with you. You pat him up and hug him up and make him feel better. But that's not what happened. He was on about his business with his lie. I'm telling you, that's the biggest lie that clowns be saying, is that somebody died. It's just, oh my God, they use that one all the time. You know why they do it? Because y'all believe it. Y'all believe it because y'all them good Christian women, and you believe if somebody died that you should be saying, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss and all that kind of old crap there. They be lying. They don't know nobody be dying in their family, and if they did, it was probably by gun violence and some stuff they was doing something they deserved to get shot. But it's like, tell me, some of my cousin, my cousin Boo Boo, my cousin Boo Boo died. I'm like, oh, good. They be like, how you say what? Because they be shocked right till you say that's good. It's like, because I don't care about cousin Boo Boo, and you don't either. I'm just saying, it's just the biggest game. That's what they do because it shuts women up. It shuts you up because you feel like you can't say nothing since somebody died, and you have to show respect to the dead and all that old stuff. I don't play them games. As soon as they say somebody died, I say good. They was old and they deserved to die because they was taking up too much lifespan and air and water in the planet. They was already like all crusty and stuff. They didn't need to be here anymore. Or if it's somebody young, then they say, well, they got shot. It's like, well, what was they doing to get shot? Must have been doing some kind of crook stuff because that's how they ended up with a bullet in them. Shouldn't have been doing that. So either way, it's not my problem. But your cousin Boo Boo died. They always use that. So y'all watch out for that. As soon as they want to put some space between you, oh, cousin Boo Boo, and I'm upset. And so then they don't have to talk to you for a month or two while they go tip around with all the other women, right? And you sitting up there holding on to, twiddling your thumbs, waiting for him to come back from his grief. You're supposed to be at his house giving him some more grief. Yeah, that is crook stuff. I'm trying to tell you. They be doing all that stuff that they don't have no business doing. So I'm like, pfft. Anyway, I'm just telling y'all some more games. So, this he used it on her and it worked. She waited not just a few weeks, but 6-7 months for him to get over his quote grief. So he was just out gigging and having himself a good old time. And while she's sitting there waiting. So, young lady, in the bottom line is, I'm going to say this as I've said 955 million times before. If a man is not giving you the relationship that you want at any time and for any reason, you cut him off. You're not married, okay? Even in an engagement, you cut him off. He either is there giving you what you need or he's not. And the second that he's not, you might say, well, what's happening? Because you're curious, you want to know. As soon as he gives you some drag and drama, some kind of BS excuse, you drop him and say, well, yeah, that's really interesting. And if you get over cousin Boo Boo dying, then, call me. But until then, I'm going to be on about my business doing what I want to do. That's what you do. Yeah, she got to go to therapy because she's dramatic. Some women are just dramatic. They call them highly sensitive people in the psychiatric field these days. They say, well, they're highly sensitive. In my area, you know what they call them? Plumb damn fools. So somehow it's become like a medical, excuse to be silly. Whereas, in the olden days when I was young, you didn't get to be silly like that because people talked about you and right in your face. Like you being stupid right now. Stuff like that. But they don't say those kind of things now. I think it's not politically correct. But when have you ever seen me worry about being politically correct? I live to be on the dark side. Yes, remind them. Thank you, Shay. Y'all hit that like button. And if you're not already a subscriber, you should take a moment and click that too. We got a lot of great stuff coming up this month with February. All kinds of great conversations every single night or afternoon on the weekends. Okay, so there you go, young lady. Question number 6, female, 22 to 27 from Seattle, Washington. Me and my boyfriend have been together for about 4 years now. I'm 25, he's 33. In the beginning of our relationship, he was able to give me a lot of compliments. He told me he loved me. He wrote me a short good morning text. Every night he told me he loves me. He loved to kiss me and spend time with me. Our first year was incredible. But now, 4 years later, he doesn't give me any compliments. I love giving compliments, and I tell him every day how much I love him and appreciate him. He doesn't tell me that he loves me. He doesn't kiss me. If we have a date, he wears joggers and he doesn't shower while I try to look as best as possible. He doesn't write a short good morning or good night. His texts are short AF. We still see each other 3 to 4 times a week, but it's like hanging out with a friend. I talked to him and I told him that I know he loves me, but sometimes I need to hear it. I told him that I need to hear something positive. He was understanding and said that he is going to try, but it's just getting worse. I asked him if he could write me a short good morning when he is awake because I don't want to wake him up, and it would be great in the morning seeing a short text from him, but he answered that he is working too hard. What the fuck? For a short good morning? It takes like 2 seconds to write and send a good morning text. I'm incredibly unhappy. His answers are short and unloving. His behavior is cold and, in my opinion, unloving. But a mutual friend told me that he wants to propose. I even saw the ring. He wants to propose but can't tell me that he loves me. I tried talking to him, but he gets so defensive. I cried and he told me that he's going to change, but it's just getting worse. I know he isn't cheating. I am truly unhappy. Well, then dump him. I mean, what? Because you heard a rumor that and you saw a ring, that don't mean the ring was for you. Okay? Reality check. Because 4 years and he's like giving you the cold shoulder and he don't have time for you and stuff like that. Why would you think the ring was for you? Just because he has one. I would think it was for someone else that isn't you, and he's just trying to figure out a way to dump you so he can go on over there and get a ring to the person he really wants to be with, which isn't you anymore. Okay? Number 2, so get your self-esteem together, chick, and send him packing. That's what he's waiting for you to do. And you just still hanging on. Oh, I'm unhappy. I'm miserable. I'm unhappy. He never says he loves me. Everything changed. But you haven't done anything about it except complain to me. What you want me to do? So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna break up with him. Okay? You're gonna say this relationship has changed and it's not meeting my needs anymore, like I just said in the last letter. And so I don't want it anymore, and I don't want you either. Get out. That's what you do. Now, let's talk about you though for a second. Now we've done dealt with that. Let's circle back. Because I want to address all this neediness that you have. You are like a barnacle on somebody, just stuck, always needing something so you can feel validated and cared for and stuff. That sucks the life out of men. Because see, not only does he do it and you like it, but you do it and then you demand it. What man you think wants somebody to tell him, you never say you love me? And like he's supposed to just do it like a puppet on a string? That's going to build resentment. He's not going to be able to feel like he say that he could say it, because then you're going to feel like, well, I had to ask you for it. It's no matter what he does, it's going to be wrong at this point. So this is the kind of situation where there's no way for him to win. He's already checked out anyway. So you need to just get the gumption to just move on from this, because it's over. I'm truly unhappy, and you writing letters instead of sending him the letter saying I'm unhappy and this is over. That's what you should have done. Question 7, female, 28 to 34 from Cardiff, Wales. Yes, yes, you're right. You gotta ask. There's a problem there. Glass size is over there being an instigator. I don't really need much push to be a fool, and she over there saying, yeah, get her. Are y'all gonna let me live that down? Cousin Boo Boo, that's too funny. Okay, she's from Cardiff, Wales. My ex and I split 15 months ago, and we have two young kids together that are under 5. The split was mutual, but he moved on pretty quickly after we broke up. He now wants his new partner to meet our kids. They have been seeing each other for almost a year. Dang, that was really quick. It's only 15 months, and he already. Ooh. I do not want her to meet my kids. I think it's too soon. He disagrees and says it will be happening regardless of what I say. He says I'm trying to be controlling. What can I do here? I don't want them meeting her. Can I stop it from happening? What can I do if he introduces her without my consent? You can't do nothing. Just like he couldn't do anything if you introduced him to your new man. It is what it is. The only way that you would have some power there if she was a felon and her crime had something to do with child trafficking or something like that, some kind of crime against a young person or something violent or something like that, and you had, documented proof of her arrest and incarceration, well, then, yeah, you could go to court and you could prevent her from being around your kid. But short of that, madam, there's nothing you can do. This is part of the change that you go through when you break up and move on. Okay, both of you are going to have different partners, new partners in your life, and your kids are going to meet both of them. They're going to meet his new woman, and they're going to meet your new man. And that's just the way it is. Sound to me like you just mad because he got somebody before you did. Uh-oh, I forgot to turn my phone off. Let me turn this ringer off. Turn this phone off. Hold on a second. All right. Okay, now, yeah, there's nothing you can do about that. Question number 8, female, 22 to 27, Phoenix, Arizona. So my boyfriend let his blank friends move back in with us after kicking them out once for not respecting our rules, bringing strangers into our house and not helping with bills. When we first agreed to let them move in, it was supposed to be temporary because at the time I was 7 months pregnant. My boyfriend has a child of his own and we would be needing our space back. He has kicked them out once already for everything above, but then he let them back in because he felt bad about them not having anywhere else to go, even though they have family nearby. But now I am weeks, if not days, from having our baby, and it's clear they have no intention of leaving on their own. My boyfriend cares for his friends, but he doesn't trust them. I don't want that in my home around my kids. I keep asking my boyfriend to handle it as this was his decision in the first place, and I've got a lot on my hands as it is. I'm ready to just lay it out for him. Either they go or I do. That's right. I have a place to go. I just want to make sure I'm not being unreasonable. Yes, it is my home as well, but they're his friends, and he let them come back. I feel like I shouldn't have to be the one to pull the trigger on the matter. This just seems like something he should step up and do for us because it causes so many issues. I'm just to the point where I'm sick of worrying about what or who has been brought into my home and done here. Any advice is appreciated. Yeah, I mean, he's stupid. How you gonna have all these weird random people around a newborn baby? And you don't say how old his child is, his kid that he has two, but so it's gonna be two little kids around some random people that have no respect to bring strangers up in your house over the kids. You know what kind of perverts that may be bringing in the house over your kids. You need to tell your boyfriend that. He's gonna deny it, of course, because he's that kind. That's stupid. Tell him either they get out or I'm leaving and I'm never coming back. So which one do you want? And you're gonna be here. You're gonna have to be paying all the bills all by yourself because I'm not gonna give you a dime. And you're gonna be paying child support on top of it. So whatever this money is that you think that you're gonna be having, it's not gonna happen because you're gonna be giving it to me for this kid. So you need to just be hard on him because he's stupid. You be having some bums living at you. They can go stay with their parents or go live in the park. I wouldn't care where they were. A cave down by the beach. That sounds good too. That's where all the other wild animals are. Shoot. Girl, you are just too nice. Once they came in, you were supposed to be acting a complete fool. So I did with my boyfriend and his cousin. It was his cousin. Only stayed one. He didn't even get to spend the night. He said he wanted him to spend the night, and I said no. He's gonna leave, and he's like, well, but it's half my house too. I said, well, that's okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But when I come into my half of the living room, I don't want to see his ass sitting up in here. And so they both looked at each other. They didn't know what to say then because it's true. Well, if it's half yours, then it's half mine. And when I come in, I don't want to see him. And this kid had a history of, selling people's property and stuff to fuel his entertainment, shall we say. And he wasn't touching my stuff because see, then we would have had bloodshed. And so, and my boyfriend knew me. He was like, she crazy, she's from San Francisco, she crazy. I'm like, you right. Okay? Don't let these dimples fool you. I will go smooth, completely, teetotally off on you, and it won't end well for you. So, and that's when I was working out at Gold's Gym and he was rippling with muscles too. I would have hit him, he would have been flying through the air. Because, you get that adrenaline boost on top of it. I was like, nope. So then they left, and that was that. But see, this is what you didn't do. Maybe because you're pregnant and you felt a little more vulnerable. But to me, I don't know. When I was pregnant, I was a complete fool. I mean, just like nobody was going to do anything that might threaten my baby. I'm telling you, I was crazy, just crazy. Even by my standards, I was crazy. And so I can't even imagine a situation like this happening where no, they would have all got beat up. So they went at the police station. What happened? A pregnant woman beat our butts and tried to kill us. I'm like, yeah, girl, you're going to have to come hard with him and tell him, nah, this ain't happening, Captain. Either they leave or I do, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then you leave for your and your child's safety. Question number 9. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Indianapolis, Indiana. She is a Cancer. So, Deb, you are so matter of fact. I'm writing to see how you would suggest I get myself together enough to delete my ex-friend off of my socials. We are both 23 and we've been friends for 12 years. Wow, to be so young, that's a long time. She ghosted me last year and I confronted her about it. She said she didn't want to be friends anymore and left it at that. I didn't do anything wrong. She just flat out ended it. I'm still hurt about it almost a year later, and I feel like I should delete her off my social media as a step to moving away from the hurt completely. But I really can't bring myself to do it. I'm not that type of person. I hold on to things. I look back on things even when they hurt me, and I don't feel strong enough to do it myself. Whenever I think about doing it, I then remember I can't look at what she's up to anymore. Or also same goes for her because I want her to look at my socials and see I'm doing better without her. And then I remember it's just time to move on, but I still can't bring myself to do it though. How do I get the courage to let go of our friendship completely? First of all, what friendship? What friendship? She told you she didn't want to be friends with you anymore. A long time, last year. And you still referring to it as our friendship. Slap yourself and wake up. You living in some kind of fugue state. This girl's not in your friend, ain't been your friend, not interested in being your friend, ain't interested in you, ain't interested in your mama, ain't interested in your life, what you doing, where you go, nothing. She doesn't care. Okay? Why don't you understand that? You having all this fantasy thinking she's looking at your social media and seeing what you're doing. She's not looking at your social media. She don't care what you do. You are flattering yourself. This is what you do, darling. This is what you do. You realize how stupid you're acting. How you just like hanging on to nothing. How you living in a fantasy world that you've created in your own mind where you think this girl is still paying some attention to you. She doesn't care what you do, where you go, who you do it with, nothing. She doesn't care about you at all. Okay, now once you accept that, it will be very easy for you to delete her because there's really nothing to delete. It's just like a spammer at this point. That's about how much you should care about her. Okay, you know how you go on the Google email and they had that little button with the exclamation mark and you get to mark it as spam. So then it deletes anything in the future from that person and it goes through all your emails in your mailbox and anything with that from that person, it takes them away and it's just like bye-bye. That's what you need to do. Okay? You have emails from her, just mark them as spam. Shay is giving us some astrological tips here. Cancers have a reputation for being hyper emotional, temperamental, and spiteful. Cancers are an option to be devoted. Oh, yeah. I mean, what's she devoted to? Nothing. The girl done already told her get lost, scram, go up and smoke, and she's still hanging on. I don't know. I don't get it. I hardly like people that like me, so somebody who didn't. I was like, what? This just does not compute. Question number 10. This is a female in a 28 to 34 age group from Denver, Colorado. She is a Libra. And she's writing about a male, 42 to 49, who has a Sagittarius. Thank you, Candace, if you end up choosing this letter. Miss Deb, I have been watching your channel for about a year. I feel like I've come so far, but there's still a long way left to go, so I'd like your take on a situation. Here's some relevant background. I have a pretty thin frame, and I'm between a 34A and a 34B. I'm comfortable with my small size and have never wanted to get implants. My mother had breast cancer twice in her 40s and had a scare, that required a mammogram in August of 2021. My boyfriend, who is 12 years older, talks constantly about how much he loves my boobs, how they're perfect, etc. And then she put constantly in caps. I appreciate his kind words, but they're not crucial to how I view myself. Well, this last weekend, he and I were sitting on the couch with his hand in his customary position on one. Out of nowhere, he says, when we get into our 50s, you should get a boob job. I was taken aback and responded, our 50s? We'll never be in our 50s at the same time. And the conversation moved to other things. That's right, huh? If he's 12 years older, that was perfect. But my mind keeps returning to the conversation. I just can't figure out where it came from. I would never get implants, not just because I don't want them, but also I don't want to do anything that could potentially obscure a life-saving mammogram. He knows all of this, and he also knows I've broken up with a guy before, partially because he tried to convince me to get an augmentation. Never in our 3 years together has he said anything along these lines. What do you think was the motivation behind his comment? If this is a blast his effing hair back scenario, is it too late to retroactively do so? Thank you and take care. You are truly an asset to all of your viewers. Well, I'm going to say this. You were probably so shocked you didn't even know what to say, huh? But see, me, I have this thing where anything that a man says that's critical or even remotely critical or hints of being critical or even maybe makes me possibly even think that he's trying to criticize me in any way, at any time, for any reason, I go off. You know why I go off? Because you don't have the right to try to criticize me. Who the hell are you? Criticize your mama. How about you do that? Okay? Criticize yourself. Look in the mirror and start criticizing your ancient behind. 12 years older than somebody and sitting up there trying to tell somebody what to do. What you really need to do is when you go back to him and you say, you know what? It's obvious that you are thinking about some stuff that you don't need to be thinking about, thinking that you need to try to change me. If you cannot accept me for who and what I am, which your comments obviously say that you don't, then there's no future here. So I'm gonna check up the deuces and I'm out. Now, you're probably not going to want to do that because you're young and you say, well, but I've been with him 3 years and, it just happened this one time. What I'm telling you is when a man, he's been thinking about it for a long time. They don't just say stuff that they haven't been thinking about. See, words are formed here long before they come out here. So he's been looking at you and he's been thinking these errant thoughts for a long time for him to finally feel comfortable enough to say it to you. You were supposed to stand up and lose your mind. But you didn't because, like I said, you was probably so shocked and taken back and confused and a whole bunch of other stuff. So when you go back, like I said, you go back to him now and you bring it up and say, what did you say that for? Most likely he's going to be able to tell by the tone of your voice that maybe that wasn't the thing he should have said. So he's going to start trying to complete. Well, I didn't really mean it. I was just, talking, whatever. He's going to have some reason to say, well, then let me explain this to you. If you say anything like that to me again, we're done. You're not going to criticize me. You are not going to try to tell me what to do and put myself under the knife, knowing my mother's history and knowing my chances of having that happen to me are very high. There's no way in this world I would do anything like that, and you already know this. So for you to say that to me, I don't even know what to say about that. But because I care about you, I'm not willing to break up on the spot like Deb would do. Because Deb don't be like, nah. Remember I told you, time. I would not want it because I just feel like if you got enough gumption to say some stuff like that to me, this shit here is over. Because he's just going to ramp up. And the thing about it, these kind of dudes, if you listen to him and you fix this, whatever he perceives to be a problem, then it's going to be something else. Your nose. Well, your chin, your jawline, your butt, your thighs, whatever. He's going to be constantly starting to pick at you. This is the kind of stuff you shut down right now. And I'm telling you, this is only the beginning. You think about what you want to do. You're still young enough to go and get you somebody else. And that's what I would recommend. He's an old fool saying some crap like that. I'd still be cussing him out. Question number 11, female, 22 to 27 from Atlanta. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 2 years. He mentioned moving in together and said we should look at places. So we started saving, and I've now found out that he never started saving and he spent all his money. Oh, he was thinking you was going to do it? He's never been taught money management, and he knows to wait until he's in the right headspace to save. She might have meant he now want, I don't know. She put no though. He's mentally lazy with a lot of things. I have to book his appointments for the dentist and stuff. Otherwise, he won't do it. He doesn't drive, so I'm his taxi. He was supposed to book lessons, but he never did. It's driving me crazy because I love him to bits and I don't know what to do next. I've spoken to him many times and he always says he'll work on it. Please help. What can I do? You can go into the mirror and you can say to the woman who's looking back at you, you are a damn fool. Look at how the time and energy and life essence that you're wasting on a dust bucket. He's not about nothing. He ain't going to be nothing. He ain't trying to be nothing. And here you are wasting around, driving him around like he's Miss Daisy and, treating him like he's a 5-year-old kid. Yet you want to call him a man. See, that's a turnoff to me. I can't get excited about somebody I treat like a child. That just don't work in my mind. I don't see how you doing that. Either you to me, are you a kid or you my man? You can't be my man and act like a little irresponsible child. That don't work for Deb. Yeah, he's a big baby. He's been making his dentist appointments like she's his mommy and driving him around like she's taking him to play dates and stuff. Girl, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Oh, Lord have mercy. We have a lady who I just interviewed her the other day, and she's going to be talking about the inner child work that most people need to do. Wounded inner children are at work in situations like this. There's something that happened, and you are just stuck there. You stuck. And you think that this is how you have to handle yourself, and this is what you have to do to have a man in your life. This is not a man. This is a boy. What they call him, a man child, but I would just take the man out. He's just a kid. He's just a child. Mentally, emotionally, financially, in every way possible. So you think about what I said here and what you could do with somebody who's ready to hit the ground running and who's mature and responsible and accountable for himself, handles his business like like an adult. What could you do? Where could you go as a couple that you never gonna be able to go any with this albatross around your neck? This guy is a joke. Question number 12, female, 28 to 34 from Winnipeg, Canada. I think my husband is way too critical of my appearance, but I want to get your take on it. We are both 28 and have been together for 3.5 years. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a 5.5 years. We are both average looking people of average heights and weights. This is relevant. It started when he asked me to lose weight. I have admittedly gained about 4 kilograms. How much is that in pounds? Well, isn't a kilogram 2.2 pounds? So that's 8, 10, about 12 pounds. During the pandemic, because of working more, I'm a doctor and having less energy to work out, but I'm still in a normal weight. I have always been insecure about my body and suffered from some disordered eating in high school, but I thought my body is healthy and supporting me, so why should I hate it? Well, that didn't last long since he has been pestering me to lose weight for a few months. It's actually not that easy, and I find myself overthinking everything I eat. Yeah, so 2.2, so it's 8.8 pounds. Oh, yeah, because 4 kilograms. My math was I doing? Then he went after my clothes. I don't like wearing tight clothes because of said body issues. His mother and his female friends are more girly than me, dressing more femininely and doing their makeup, while I'm not very interested in fashion. He told me he hates my clothes and they make me look old and big. Then it was, wow. And he's still living? Then it was the fact that I don't enjoy doing my makeup on a daily basis. I'll do it when we go out, but not for work. He wishes I put more effort into my appearance while I'm exhausted from seeing people dying from COVID. Then it was my facial hair, which I don't even think I have. We all have peach fuzz, but have no interest in shaving it. And last but not least, he asked if I would consider having a breast reduction. I mean, my chest isn't even that big. Sometimes I wish it were smaller so I could wear more open clothes in the summer, but other than that, it doesn't really bother me. But nowadays, I look in the mirror and I don't even know if I like what I see. He still has some acne on his face, and I suggested some products that would help him. And he got upset because he thought I was humiliating him. Oh, that would only be the beginning if it were me. I asked him to come to the gym with me because it would be good for his health. And again, he became upset. He says I don't accept constructive criticism about my appearance and that I cry a lot, but he puts no effort in his appearance whatsoever. The problem is that we really love each other. Other than this issue, he treats me with so much love and care. It wouldn't matter how he treated you in other ways. This is some stuff here designed to emotionally abuse you. You're trying to dismiss it because of all the other stuff. No, 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 no. Elevate this to the top of the list, to the front of the pack. This kind of stuff here is so inappropriate. He doesn't get to talk about you. But see, this is what he would talk about my facial hair. It's like, well, maybe I might have some facial hair, but at least that could be shaved up. What you gonna do about them pits all over your goddamn face? Looking like craters and volcanoes and shit going on over there. Luckily, I love you, but you look a hot mess. He's not worrying about her appearance. That's not it at all. He's focusing on trying to break her down because he doesn't feel good about himself. He wants to make her feel bad about herself, which in turn will make him feel better because he will see her crying and, being all concerned and stuff. And that gives these kind of abusive people a sense of power and accomplishment. That's what's going on here. It's not about what anything. I'm telling you. Oh man, no, we would definitely have to go. We leave him, but first I would have to just cream sauce him. Mushy body. You don't have a muscle in your entire body. You got the nerve to be trying to tell somebody to lose weight. I'm about to lose weight, 190 pounds, Stuff like that, I would be just talking so much smack to him. But see, that's how I'm like, you're not going to talk to me bad and try to make me feel bad. Because whatever way you talk about me, I'm going to U-turn that stuff and it's going to go right back to you double. We don't do that. We're not doing that. We're not going to play that game because I'm way better at it than you. And I will talk about you from your birth up until yesterday. And then if I've run out of stuff there, I'm going to start going in on your parents. Okay? Your siblings, your children you had by that scallywag heifer that you used to be married to. I'm going to talk about everybody. Everybody that means anything to you. Your kids included. All of them. And then when I get through, then we're going to break up. He has, but the fact that he gets all in his feelings because she tells him to go to the gym and stuff, see, that would be like, ching, that's like instant ammo. Don't show me your weakness because now it's on. You trying to get at somebody, you trying to get at me, I'm about to light you up. So, that's why you don't talk to him like that because you love him and you want to be respectful and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, my thing is I'm going to respect you as long as you respect me. The second you start going off the rails, I'm going to jump. My train is going to speed by yours and get on the track in front of you. And we about to go to town now. You're not going to talk to me crazy. Yeah, he can't take it. But see, that was the fact that he couldn't take it. That was the clue. That was like, oh, shoot, it's on now. It's on like Donkey Kong. And then we would have fun. I would have big fun with him. Question number 13. This is a male in the 35 to 41 age group from Miramar, Florida. Never heard of it. He's a Gemini, and the female that he's writing about is also in the same age group, 35 to 41, and she's an Aquarius. Okay, 2 air signs. This ought to be interesting. Where's Shay at? She knows about this stuff. I recently quit my job as I prepare to go full-time with my own business, and I was looking at my finances to modify our budget for the time being. My wife and I have been married for 12 years, and we have 3 kids. She's been at home with them for about 9 years now. She's had a household and personal spending budget that's been basically the same for this amount of time, and we've never had a problem sticking to it. You had the same budget for 9 years. Who does that? Everything has gone up in price, so something's wrong here. When I look at our finances every few months and annually, she is below or at our budget almost always and manages to get everything we need. As I was looking at our itemized budget and her recent spending habits, I started noticing that entire purchases or shopping trips were missing from her credit card statements. For example, a couple of months ago, she and her sister took the kids to Disneyland. I realized that none of the cost was on our account and there was no big transfer of money over it. And if that was the case, that her sister paid for everything and we paid her back afterwards. We shop at Trader Joe's all the time, but the only grocery store we go to according to our credit card statements is Walmart and Costco. She upgrades some household decor and kids' clothing as well as her own and my clothes every so often. But as far as decor and clothing, I barely see $150 spent over the past year. I confront her, thinking that she has a secret second credit card that I don't know about. She confesses that actually she does have a second credit card, but it's one that she's had for 20 years and her parents pay the balance every month. They've had her and all her siblings on a fun money allowance. I asked my brother-in-law, he's married to my wife's sister, and he apparently has known about this and is okay with spending their money as long as it's on trivial stuff. I am blown away. I don't even know how to feel. I'm humiliated, emasculated, and angry. I also feel like a fool because I thought this life we were living, where I provided a nice lifestyle where we could treat ourselves and get the kids once some nice stuff, has been a lie. My income pays the bill, sure, but I guess I'm an idiot for also thinking it covered all this other stuff that my wife does with the kids. One plus side is that we have managed to save money over the years more than what I ever thought we could, and that's because my wife uses her allowance on frivolous stuff and never our money unless it was something that we decided to do for the kids together. I don't even know what to do here. You don't do anything. What you getting all in your feelings for? Those are her parents. Those are the people that are responsible for her being here. If they want to treat their kids and they have the money to do it and they do it, and that's what they do, then that's what they do. You don't have the right to tell them people what to do with their money. They're grown. Now, you don't have to spend it. You can tell your wife, well, don't spend any of it on me. You can do that. But you can't tell her not to spend for the money that they give for their grandchildren and their daughter. You don't have the right to say nothing about that. It doesn't have anything to do with your masculinity. You tripping. You just doing too much and make doing, as they say, the absolute most. It don't have nothing to do with you. That's their daughter. Okay? You tripping. But the main thing here that shows that you just out of touch with reality is she been staying home for 9 years. I mean, she ain't worked in 9 years and you giving her the same budget and you think that that's gonna work. That shows that you was instant your head up somebody's ass or something. I don't know what to say, dude. But that was so unrealistic right there. That's probably why you feel stupid more than anything else. Shoot, just go up every year, and you up there 9 years later talking about, oh, I thought it was enough money. She gets everything on budget. You drunk. So anyway, you're not going to do anything. That's what I'm saying, bottom line. Yeah, just giving her $50 to go and pay the bills and buy groceries or whatever, and you think that that's going to be enough, like it was in 2012. Wow, I don't even know what to say. Wake up, okay? But you just get over this. It don't have nothing to do with you. There's nothing that you can do. If you don't want your wife to have that credit card, then guess what? All the money that she gets from there, that means you getting a second job to make up that difference. You ready to do that? See, you can't tell nobody about what money they spend if it's coming from some other source unless you're willing to replace it. Okay? That's the deal. Question number 14, female, 22 to 27 from Durham, North Carolina. Thank you, Candace, for choosing my letter. I am desperate to get some help. This is a what would Deb do question. Ooh, my favorite. A few months ago, my boyfriend lost his job. He has many talents, so he decided to start a side hustle via Etsy. While continuing to look for full-time work, he needed a bit of seed money to get his side business off the ground, buying craft supplies, etc., and packaging. So I lent him $800. Fast forward 5 months to now. My boyfriend has found a full-time job that pays well, and he has continued with his side hustle, which is booming. I asked him when I could get paid back the money that he owes me. I mentioned that he doesn't need to pay it back all at once. It could be a small amount each month. He replied that I don't really need the money for anything in particular and that I make a good salary, so why should he pay me back? He mentioned, well, he mentioned that he does a lot of nice things that are worth money, like treat me to dinner or buy me groceries from time to time. These things are true, but it's not what we agreed to when I lent him the money. I'm not sure if I should force the issue and insist on getting paid back as a matter of principle, or just let it go as pushing too hard and starting an argument might damage our relationship. It's true that I don't need the money for anything in particular, but the idea that he thinks he doesn't need to pay me back is bothering me for some reason because he's pimping you. That's why. He's just gonna sit up there and laugh in your face and take almost $1,000 of your money to talk about you. He got a full-time job and his side business is doing well, and he's not going to give you your money back. Say, look, you wouldn't even have this damn business and be making all this money if it wasn't for me, because you didn't have the money to buy the stuff to get started. But you know me, I'm telling you, I'm such a terrible person. All the stuff that he bought with my $800, I would go and get it, plus some of his product, and I would sell it on eBay or whatever and get my money. That's how Deb does things. I told y'all last week the story about how I did by my cousin. I didn't sell her stuff though, but she didn't have it. So, he would either have to give me my money or I'm about to take all your stuff. And I don't say nothing when I slash your tires and you got to pay $2,000 for tires. Either way, you about to unask $800. Either you're going to give it to me or you're going to give it to somebody else, but you're going to spend it. It's coming out of your pocket. I don't care how. But you're not going to just be sitting around coasting on my money. You're not going to do that. Or you can start pilfering, $20 at a time out of his wallet when he's asleep. That also works too. Until you reach $800, which shouldn't take that long. $20 or $40 here, $20, $40 there. That'll add up pretty quick. But either way, he would have to give me my money. Question number 15, male, 28 to 34 from, how do you say this? Joliet, Illinois. Bad reviews. Yeah, there you go. Candace. Shh. Go on his Etsy page and climb. Don't buy this stuff. It's crap. I paid it. He never sent me my stuff with a whole bunch of fake accounts. Yeah, but that's just dirty. He wouldn't even have the success he has if it was for money. So yeah, he would have to be punished for that. Okay, so this guy's 28 to 34 from Joliet, Illinois. He's a Scorpio. Oh, no. I need to tell you what's going on with me and figure out if I should confess to clear my conscience or would telling my wife make the situation worse. I've always had a problem with secretly eating and buying food and snacks since I was in high school. Something deep about my parents not letting me, etc. That inner child thing surfacing again. Well, the problem still continues in adulthood. Yesterday, my wife was talking about a friend of hers whose husband had hit in debt. And she said to me, I know you spend a lot when we go out to eat, but I appreciate you not doing it behind my back. Oh, she fishing. That's interesting. She said that and I played it off as true, but it isn't. I've never felt this low and hurtful in our relationship before. Dad, for years I've gone and bought junk and fast food behind everyone's back. I've been trying to diet and stop, and I have definitely done so, but I'd be lying again if I said it was zero. I have already vowed to myself that no matter what, I can never do it again because I can't lie anymore. But is it better for me to keep the past spending of food a secret that has yet to affect us negatively in a financial way, or should I come clean? I'm never going to do it again. This is my rock bottom. But will it be more hurtful to her to make myself feel better about coming clean? Or should I live with my guilt and simply be a better person and spouse? You should go into therapy. And you should, since this is something that stems from your childhood, you should figure out what that is. Once you figure that out, this problem will resolve itself. Should you go and open your big mouth and tell her that all of this? No. You know why? Because once you have money, as an adult, you have money. You get your money to spend whatever way you want to. You can buy clothes with it. You can buy shoes with it. You can spend it on meals out. You can buy fast food with it. You can buy exotic coffees or exotic pets. You can do whatever you want to with your money. Okay? You are not required to report into her like she's your warden or something. Okay? It's none of her business. But if it's causing you problems, then you handle that with the care, with the treatment, with the therapist. I'm not going to tell you to go and tell her because I don't think it's any of her business. And I don't see where that's going to do you any good. Because, just like she could be, you don't know what she's doing with her money, right? She don't need to know what you do with yours either. That's why it's yours. Exactly. Mary Elizabeth put it, she said you could buy a giraffe. Exactly. You can do whatever you want to with your money. She's not your mommy, Okay, you don't have to report into her with every dime that you spend and what you spend it on, sir. You tripping. Stop this. Guilt tripping yourself about some damn snacks. I wish I would. I tell you what, I was a cracker. A man went to Costco. It used to be called Price Club, and then Price Club and Costco joined together, right? I don't know, so 30 years ago or something, some long time ago. But they used to sell like Cracker Jacks, which was my favorite snack as a kid. And they would have them like in pack 20. You know how Costco got everything like, you're going to get 100 of them. But it had like 20 or 30 or something. I mean, some ridiculous number of boxes all shrink wrapped together. And I would go take myself up in there and I would wrap that sucker. I didn't even get a cart because this was the only thing I wanted to get. And I'm carrying it around the store and plop it on the counter and pay my little money and take my cracker home. And I'll be. I love those things. Still to this day, I love them, but I don't mess with them anymore. Too many cavities in my teeth because of them. Yes, honey, Cracker Jacks with the little prize. Candy coated popcorn, peanuts, and a prize. That's what you get in Cracker Jack. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, why do I remember that? That's terrible. I can't remember what happened last week, but I can remember Cracker Jack song from 40 years ago. This is so funny. Question number 16. Question number 16, female, 28 to 34, from Denton, Texas. I had a haircut over the weekend from a friend who's about to graduate from beauty school. My hair just touches my shoulder. It's shorter than expected, but I still see it as nice to have a change, and it will grow back. However, my mother's due to visit in 3 weeks, and she's probably going to hit the roof. I'm a full-grown adult, 30 years old. There's no control issues here. But hair is one thing that my mother, she's 62 now, has very strong opinions about. Growing up, she grew my hair to mid-back, and we had some fights about me cutting it. I have a story that's very funny now, but at the time was mortifying. As a teenager, I scheduled a secret haircut. My mom somehow tracked down the salon I was in, and right as the hairdresser drew his scissors, she dramatically stormed in and threatened to sue the hairdresser if he cut it at all. My current plan is to tell her before the visit, give her a week to process, and get it all out in private. What do you think? I think that you tripping. You 30-year-old woman, what, you could shave your hair off and go bald. It's none of her damn business. Until you grow up and start acting like a woman and handling yourself like one, you are still acting like you're 12 years old or 16 or whatever. That's the mentality that you have about this. You don't need to tell your mother anything. It's not her business. Did she pay for it? She didn't pay for it. She don't pay for none of your hair maintenance. It's not her concern. Okay? So when she comes, she's going to say, you cut your hair. I don't like it. And you're going to say, well, that's too bad because I didn't need your opinion, your approval or your opinion about it. I'm 30 years old. I do what I want to do with my hair because it's mine. That's what you say to her. Is that disrespectful? No, because you didn't cuss and you didn't call her names. You just stated facts. I'm 30 years old. Fact. It's my hair. Fact. I'll do what I want to do with my hair. Fact. Now, there might be facts that she doesn't want to hear, but that's too bad. That's irrelevant. That's immaterial to the situation. The situation is your hair on your head. It's your body. It's your money. It's your time. You the only one that's going to be walking around with your hair cut to shoulder length. If she likes long hair, let her grow hers that way. But I think when women are too old and they have that long hair, it looks witchy. Don't look right. Question number 17, female, 22 to 27 from Abilene, Texas. She is a Virgo, and the male in question is in the same age group, and he is a Scorpio. My little sister's turning 21 in a few weeks, so like most 21-year-olds, they have some sort of celebration planned. She decided to throw a party at a club out of town, meaning we'll have to stay at a hotel overnight. Well, tonight, my boyfriend came over for dinner, and everything was good until he asked to do something this weekend. And I responded by telling him about my sister's party. He didn't know anything about it. He got upset as he's been, quote, dying to do this thing with me, and now we can't do it. He then asked where the party will be held, and I said that it's 4 hours away. So where is she? Abilene? Abilene. Probably Austin. I think Dallas is a little further. Austin, Dallas. Well, probably one of them too. So I'll be staying at a hotel, and just like that, all hell broke loose. He immediately started an unnecessary argument where he was just yelling and swearing at me. As time went on, the argument got worse and worse, but the disrespect didn't get bad until he called me a dog and a SL asterisk T. That's when I completely lost it on him and kicked him out. We haven't communicated since. To be honest, I just want time and space to process what's happened. Obviously, I won't tolerate his disrespect, but I don't know where to go from here. We've been dating for 3 years, and not once has he ever treated or talked to me that way. He's never been angry in that way before. But see, that's because you never made him that mad. My father told me before I even started dating dudes, he said, the number one thing to do when you start dating a dude is to piss him off. Because you want to see, you find out what makes him mad, and then you do that thing and see how he acts and how he treats and talks to you. It's very important because you need to know what you're dealing with. A dude like this who starts calling you vile names and treating you like you some, raggedy person on the street, you get rid of him. I don't care if you've been with him 3 years or 30. You don't have some man talk to you like this. And this is his true colors. He got mad because you were doing something he didn't want you to do. See, it sounds like you just always were acquiesced to what he wanted. So this is the first time he had frustration where you were going to do something else other than what he wanted you to do. And this is how he responded. So you say he's never done this before. Think back. How many times have you told him no or want to do something different than what he wanted you to do? Probably just the first time. And this is why this is the first time you're seeing him act like this. So I'm going to suggest that you make a marker in this. And whenever he finally surfaces, you say, "We're done here, sir." Because what you're going to do is, every time now he gets mad, he's going to be okay with talking to you like this. That card has been punched now. There's no unpunching it. And that's what a lot of young women don't understand. They feel like, well, he only did it that one time. He apologized. He just said, "I don't give a damn. You let your mouth talk to me like that. We're done here, sir." Because the fact is that you even thought that was okay to think, let alone to say, shows that you ain't the man for me. Now, see, this is the kind of stuff that you understand as an older woman, having gone through all of this kind of stuff when I was younger. But I wouldn't have stayed with a dude like this because of what, like I said, my dad taught me. And so he would have got the instant boot. It's like, you don't even have to worry about not calling me ever again because we're through here. And when I'm on my trip, I'm going to be looking for a new boyfriend to replace you. That's what I would have told his donkey butt. Yeah, this exactly. It's just going to get worse because, like I said, now the ticket's punched now. You can't unpunch it. So, see, once you go back with him after you take this, and this is, you go back with him, right? Because that basically means, well, I forgive you. It's okay. And that's the mistake women make. It's not okay, and you never forgive him for talking to you like that. He's going to call you some vile name like that. No, he called you two vile names. No. I'm sick my brothers on. Yeah, let's see. You can talk that smack now. Question number 18, female, 22 to 27, San Diego, California. Deb, how do you decide whether or not to stay the night at a guy's place? I'm 24 and have been living and having some casual encounters recently after I broke up with my 3-year boyfriend. I don't have a lot of experience, so I'm wondering how to gauge whether a guy wants me to stay over or not. Ideally, I prefer to stay over, especially if the eggplant was good, but not but not sure about whether it's better to say that I'm leaving and hope that the guy asks me to stay, or if I should just assume I can stay the night and wait for the guy to hint at leaving. How do you handle it? I always leave. I don't give a shit what they want. I like to sleep in my bed and to sleep in my bed by myself because I sleep diagonal or I do the starfish pose. I don't want to, no, and men are too hot and they sweat and fart and their feet hurt, smell. It's just, no, you stay at your house and do all that. I want to see my pretty little crisp sheets and, smelling like lavender and I just like my room to be a certain way, and that means you ain't here. Okay. So, I don't spend the night at nobody's house. I don't trust it. I can't sleep. I feel like I'm sleeping with one eye open. I just don't. I be looking. I can't rest. I can't do that. Now some women can. Good, I'm happy for you. I have to be at my house. And I don't want to spend the night at my house either. We're already done here, sir. Go home. Go home. Yeah. Ta ta. It was magical. Bye. I don't know. I don't understand what you're trying to do here. See, this would not work for me. Let me tell you why. Okay, so you want to spend the night. Okay, so he asked you to stay. Why would you stay? You already did what you need to do. Go take your ass home. Okay, it's like, especially that's not your boyfriend, just some random that you just happen to hit the sheets with. You don't stay there. You don't know this man. You don't know his habits. You don't know who else has got a key to his place. Just y'all don't be thinking about that kind of stuff. See, they be thinking about that kind of stuff. That's why I can't sleep somewhere else. I don't trust these men. They have too much. There's too much stuff going on around here. He got all his friends that got keys to the house. They figure he got a girl over there, and here they come. And you wake up and you was all groggy and stuff, and here three dudes standing over the bed looking at you. What you gonna do? See, I think about stuff like that, and I don't put myself in them situations. I'd be like, oh, that was great. Let me get up out of here. Oh, don't you want to stay longer? No, I sure don't. I want to go home and take a bubble bath and get in my bed. I'm telling you, honey. Exactly. Last night, that's what I'm saying. I just don't, that's growing up in the hood. You just see and hear too much. And I just don't want none of that to happen to me. So I'm not going to put myself in a vulnerable position like that. Well, I'm going to sleep in some strange dude's house. Like, what you want me to stay here for? You shouldn't want me to be in my. What if I'm the crook that's going to set you up and have somebody come up in here robbing you? You don't know who I am. These people just be putting too much, just doing too much. I don't participate in those kind of things. So as far as me, I can't tell you, what you should do. And assuming that you should stay the night, why would you? That's so like thirsty. Oh, I thought I was gonna spend the night. Why? You just met this clown. You don't know him. Take your happy ass home. If you have to get in a cab or Uber, get out of there. Go someplace where you know the terrain and got your backup and stuff. You don't be spending the night at some random man's house. Whew, you young girls be killing me. The risk that you take is just unbelievable. Question number 19, female, 22 to 27, Charleston, South Carolina. My boyfriend seems to really enjoy spending weekends with me, and we have done so for several months. I mentioned to him last weekend that I would enjoy a call instead of a text every now and then. He eventually did give me a call and said we can do this every now and then. Okay, but this is what has me wondering. It's my turn to see him this weekend at his place. We live about an hour apart. But he is going to a party without me in the afternoon on Saturday. I was not invited since I don't know the people, and they sent out invites, and we were only dating 2 months or so. And his adult kids will be there, and I haven't ever met them yet. That is bad enough. But then he texted me today to tell me the next day I'm there, Sunday, he made arrangements for himself at 10 a.m. to get his personal training for an hour. As an afterthought, he texted and asked if I was interested in having a session with the same trainer after him. Excuse me, but I will be sitting around waiting for him a few hours on Saturday afternoon when he goes to this party, and then he wants me to either leave, I assume, or wait on him another hour the next morning. We usually leave late morning from each other's home on Sunday. When he visits, it's usually on late Friday night, and when I'm going to him, I usually come on Saturday. But he said I was welcome to come on Friday. I don't work Fridays, but he does from his house. Am I misinterpreting this? But it sure seems like he's treating me quite casually and as an option. Okay, this is what you feel like everybody's life should stop because y'all show up at each other's house. If you're gonna have a relationship with someone, you're gonna have to integrate into their life. Same on his end. You want his life to stop because you show up on the weekend. If he's working all week, then that's the weekend is the only time he has to socialize and stuff with his friends and family. Okay? So you just calm yourself down here. You tripping. And just tell him, well, it doesn't sound like you have much time, so I'll just see you when you come here next weekend and I'll go hang with my friends or something this weekend. That's all you have to do. Okay, there's no reason to get all in your feelings and act like this. He's not going to dry up and blow away because you don't see him one weekend. It'll make him more happier to see you when he does see you. That's how I would have played it. As soon as he said he had something to do, I'd been like, oh, well, I'm not coming. And he was like, why? You could, this. I'm like, no, I'll just stay here. I'll see you when you come up here next weekend. Give me time to do, some girly stuff. that I want to do. Get a pedicure and manicure and, wax my eyebrows or something. I don't know, whatever people be doing. You know what I mean? Don't you have any friends? Don't you have a life, hobbies, interests? I mean, classes you take, dance classes, something. Don't you do something with yourself that you kind of put aside because he's there? Pick it back up and do it. That's what you do. Question number 20, female, 22 to 27 from Bridgeport, Connecticut. I met this guy at a friend's party. I really liked him. We took each other's contact info and decided to hang out. He texted me a few days later and he just directly said that we should book a room. Wow. Okay, well, let me read this again. Okay, you met him at the party. You decided to hang out. He texted you a few days later and just said directly that we should just book a room. So he only really talked to you one time at the party and he wanted to get a room. Wow. I'm shocked. I also feel it was disrespectful. I know he was being honest, but I thought we were more than just eggplant. I just said I didn't expect this from him. He left me on scene and later replied with a. Is it okay to feel this way? I know it is, but I just feel angry, hurt, and whatnot. It's all mixed emotions. Why? Why are you getting in your emotions about a complete stranger that you met one time? Y'all be doing too much. You girls and your damn emotions. You just look at that video, Master Your Emotions, that's up on this channel. You need to do that because you got all this over some clown that you talked to one time and then got a stupid text from. And you got all this residual emotion over that. If you was going, you should have just cussed him out then. Say you blankety blank, blankety blank. Don't be coming to me like that, you piece of blankety blank blank. And just told him about himself. Most likely, this is what I'm going to tell you. This is most likely the scenario. Because it's too suspicious. You went to a friend's party. Okay, so who's this friend? Who is this friend to you? My thing is, since something like that happened where he just went straight from A to Z, there's some conversation between your friend and this dude that it's not even a boys will be boys, because normally in a situation like that where he met through a friend, he's going to be a little extra on his P's and Q's because of the fact that he's, concerned about the relationship with the friend. That's why I'm circling back to the fact that whatever this attitude is he has, that you are just a trashy so-and-so, that came from your friend. That's the only person you all have in common, right? There's something amiss here. Either this friend, you didn't say if the friend is male or female, if the friend likes you, if the friend is jealous of you, like if it's a woman, you left out some vital pieces of information that I would normally want to know to have a complete picture of the story. But the way that this went down is not normal. He got some information from somebody that's about you that's not favorable. We don't know what you was like. I mean, it could be true, it could be a lie. But whatever it is, they shared some information about you that they should not have told him. And that's where that originates from. I firmly believe that. It's just jumping out. I went to a friend's party. Watch that friend. That ain't really your friend. Question number 21, female, 22 to 27. Chicago, Illinois. My boyfriend and I have been official for about 3 months and already live together under the same phone plan. We recently took a trip. Wait, 3 months and you already live together and sharing a phone bill? See what I mean? Just desperate. Desperate. We recently took a trip together, and the day before that, he finished completely moving out of his old apartment. He was living there with his last girlfriend for about a year, but she moved out and moved to Wisconsin. We live in Chicago. We have been dating since April, and he claimed that they were already broken up. However, I found out they went to a cabin together in late April. I didn't address it because we were just dating at the time and hadn't even been intimate yet. I recently saw her text him while he was showing me something on his phone. He said she was talking about their apartment that he was moving out from. Then a few days later, I was seeing myself a picture from his phone, and her name came up as the first contact right before mine. Oh, like a favorite. I asked him about it, and he said that he hadn't communicated with her since I saw that text. Convenient. I asked him if they were still communicating. He said no, and that he doesn't even like her. He said she's the last person I need to worry about. Then he asked me to be his girlfriend. He told me that he told her he was moving on and that she was aware of me. He then accidentally sent me the text that was meant for her, saying that I was his new girlfriend. I want to trust him, but I declined to look at our phone records. No, I decided to look at our phone records. The records show many texts and short calls between them for the last 2 months, and after he promised me that they were done communicating. The text records are a little unreliable because it shows some times where I know he was asleep, but the calls seem very accurate because it shows accurate dates and times of our calls. Every text and call has been during times when I'm not around, and most of the time he's initiating the contact. I initially confronted him and said I was concerned that I saw texts from her because I wanted to have an open conversation and find out what was happening and how to move forward. I told him that if he's secretly talking to her, that's hurtful and disrespectful. But he lied to me. According to the phone records, I feel like I will look crazy if I show him the phone records and tell him I know it's her number because I Googled her. What should I do? He's very loving towards me and spends all of his free time with me at home. Outside of this, I never had a reason to suspect anything. Now I can't stop looking at the phone usage. He's still contacting her even after our conversation. I wanted to wait and see if he would stop, but he won't. That's because she's where his heart is. Y'all just don't get it. This is where his heart is. This is it. You're just the rebound. Okay? He was still moving out from her when he, was hooking up with you. And then y'all moved in right away. I mean, you don't know anybody in 3 months, and he couldn't have possibly have gotten over her that quickly. He's not like me. I get over people the second I decide that I'm done. I mean, like 5 minutes later, I'm like done. But that's not normal. Usual and customary. I mean, don't know if it's normal or not. But it's like if I decide that I'm done with you, I'm done. There's no residual emotional, thinking about you and caring about what happened to you and all that kind of stuff. If anything, I'm the opposite. I wish you would just die. Just free us all of your presence, please. That would be like wonderful. But you want to try and be looking at records and extracting promises that he's not keeping and all this kind of stuff. So, but see, if you had waited and not rushed to try to think that you was getting some commitment moving in with this dude right away, then you wouldn't be having this problem. So this is something you set yourself up for by putting the cart before the horse. You rushed. Now you're going to rush your ass right back out of this situation, and you're going to take yourself back to your house, or you're going to kick him out or whatever you're going to do. And then once you're on lease, I assume you guys signed some kind of rental agreement, lease or whatever. You would hope it was a month to month, so you could just give 30-day notice and deuce out. But if not, you stuck. I'm not living with now. I don't want nobody living with me. Get out. I don't even want flies in here. You need to pay some bills. They're trying to eat meals off of me. Get out. Question number 22, female, 22 to 27. Notice how everybody's in the same age group. Sunnyvale, California, and she is a Pisces. Hi, Deb, Candace, and Shay. Oh, look, Shay, you got a shout. My boyfriend and I have been together for a year and a half. He is my person and someone that fits my life so perfectly. A big red flag was I could never go to his apartment. He said it wasn't clean enough for me. Uh-oh. He moved there in October. Also in October, he broke down and told me he lives in squalor and he can't deal with it on his own like he thought, and he needs my help. We went to his place. It was like nothing I have ever seen before. I'm scared. When I worked at APS, we had people that had hoarding issues, and we had like a contract with this company that would come in and just clear all the junk out of people's house and stuff. And some of them, they had to do it because of poor people were about to get evicted and stuff. There'd be smells and vermin and all kinds of stuff in their apartments. And they was too old to try to clean it themselves. So we had a contract with the service, and that's what they did. So let's read on. It's just making me think of that. That's why I mentioned that. It wasn't technically hoarding because it wasn't items. It was full of garbage and takeout containers, mold, rib bones, no path to walk, no usable dishes. Imagine what you are thinking and make it worse. Mental health is in my background and I work in it. So of course I had empathy and wanted to help make it better. I would have made the fastest U-turn you've ever seen. We gutted the place, and he has been slowly working to renovate it for a rental. We definitely had our hiccups with this. My trust was broken a little. He would still lie to me and say he got something done, but he didn't. He was to seek counseling for his behaviors, but without me pushing him, he never did it. His appointment isn't until February 8th. Okay, now fast forward to today. We were having a romantic night in the hot tub. I was sitting beside him and he was Googling something on his phone to show me, but before he could, I saw a text that said, "Hi, hun." I immediately lost it and got out because he said it was nothing and got very awkward. He then confessed when we were out and settled that he has an addiction to sexting. Oh, those kind of workers for fun. So that is what it was. I got to read the messages and I was disgusted. He even said this the same day, "Hi, hun, can I call you?" And he called her. He said she didn't answer. The thing is, I believe him when he says it doesn't get physical. As I see, it's strictly pleasure in sexting, but why the heck did you even call her? He says they don't talk unless you think you're meeting up with them. My mind is going a mile a minute. I don't think this is something I can get over. Texting is one thing that you can just erase from your phone and never get caught. He says this plan was to admit this to the counselor and see if she thought that he should tell me. I don't want to lose him, but I think I have the right. I love him so much, but how do we come back from all this? Girl, wait a minute. You better than me. Let me tell you how this would have went if this was Deb. Oh, I can't go to your house because you know, it's too whatever word he used. And then, so we go in the house and he opens the door and I see mold and garbage. He would have become every kind of nasty MF I could have thought of. And I would have said, don't you even think about coming back to my house. You probably have fleas and lice and all kind of stuff crawling on you from this nasty house. And you are not coming over to mine. The end. And I would have closed the door with him in there and left. And that would have been that. Now, see, this is the part that, if somebody's living in this nasty squalor like that, how clean do you think this man's body is? And you letting him be intimate with you. What's wrong with you? See, your body parts are going to start having gangrene and shit, and then you're going to figure out, that this is something you didn't need to do. Well, she said they gutted the place. So they got everything out. Yeah, she talking about I love him. I wouldn't love him. Little nasty roach. The standards for these girls, I don't even know what to say, you all. It's just mind-boggling to me. And then you start wondering, okay, what kind of home did you grow up in that you have tolerance for this kind of thing? And you think that a man who is like this, he's so messed up in the head that that's how he's living, is a viable mate for you. But she says she works in mental health, but see, you're not supposed to be dealing with nobody like that unless you get paid by the hour. Blue Cross Blue Shield, somebody is paying you because you're treating that person. You don't date that person. So I don't know what to say about this. But, you think that, he's just going from bad to worse. He's just all messed up in the head. This is somebody you can't fix. Let this go. Let this go. This man is garbage. Okay, he lives in garbage. He is garbage. He behaves like garbage. And he's going to just mess up your life and bring garbage all into your world, too, if you don't get rid of him. You act like he's the only man left on the planet or something. Question number 23, male, 28 to 34, from Toronto. He's a Taurus. Would you recommend that I date someone that has an emotional support dog or any other animal that they carry around with them everywhere? Not to be confused with an actual trained service dog that was trained to perform specific tasks for blind, deaf, or people who have seizures and things like that. I like this girl, but the thought that she's going to bring this animal with us everywhere we go is odd. I'm not sure what to do. You leave her to her emotional support animal. What's the problem here? You see them people carrying around little dogs in these giant purses and stuff, and then the dog, they want to bring them nasty little smelly mutts everywhere they go. No. If you need that much emotional support, stay your ass at home. Nobody want to be looking at you. I mean, all these people that's all emotionally destroyed, messed up in the head, and some people be trying to date them. Don't you know that that's a person who needs an emotional support animal is crazy? Okay, there's something wrong with them. You're never going to be able to really have a normal relationship with them because they're not normal. It's not normal to carry around a dog in your purse. Don't you understand that? In a backpack. That's not normal behavior. There's something wrong with those people. And they be registering these dogs on some website where they get the little fake service, what they call it, emotional support dog, little vest, and walk around with these little rat dogs and stuff. Oh, just what somebody say? Wait a minute, what? This culture, I swear, I'm just telling you, this is like these people are crazy. They're crazy. There's something wrong with them. It's just like by the millions, they just out their minds. Is it in the water? Is it in the air? Is it in the fast food? What is it? There's something wrong. And it's like half the population is loony. This loonyism. Paris Hilton is a nut. You didn't think that girl was crazy as a Betsy Bug? I did. Her mother is really Leona, whatever her Hemsley or whatever. Oh yeah, who is Leona Hemsley? She's some different than she's not the Hiltons. But anyway, they all crazy. They're all crazy. And you just don't be bothered with somebody like that. You leave her with her giant person, her little dog, and you going about your business. Find you a normal woman who wants you to be her emotional support. Question number 24, male, 28 to 34, from Ashford in Kent, UK. We've been married for 6 months, and I've learned recently that my wife is not happy with me anymore. Before marriage, she called me the love of her life and the best thing that ever happened to her. She called me husband, insisted on living together, and talked about a baby. We got married last May, and she called it the best day of her life on social media. The honeymoon went great, and the next couple of months were good as far as I remember. It all started to change in August and September. She suddenly became cold, distant, and rude. At first, I thought it was just a temporary crisis, maybe more stress at work. But now I can tell it's bad. She doesn't talk on her own, and I need to drag everything out of her. So far, I have learned that, bullet points, she feels we are very different in terms of personality. We have very little in common. I'm way smarter than her and too invested in personal development, which makes her feel worse than inadequate. The eggplant is not as great as it was in the first year of our relationship. When I asked her about the things she likes about me as a man, the only thing she could come up with was your body. She thinks she's constantly laughing at the office, but our home makes her feel sad. She doesn't miss me when she's away on a business trip. She feels like she was pretending to be someone else to please me, but now she's tired of it. I still love her, and I'm doing everything in my power to salvage our marriage, but I am completely shocked. How could she change so much in just a few months? Does it sound like there's someone else? Is there any way out of this, or should I look for a divorce lawyer? Well, she admitted that she was pretending to be someone else to please you, but now the mask has come off. She can't keep up the pretense anymore. That's all you need to know, sir. She admitted it. So no matter what else you feel like, all this other stuff you mentioned, that's irrelevant to the one thing, the one telling factor about what's at the core of this relationship is that she was pretending to be someone else to please you, but she's tired of it. That's all you need to pay attention to. So your next stop is a divorce attorney. Question number 25, male, 35 to 41, Philadelphia. My wife gained 40 pounds after having 3 babies. I need to know how I should tell her that I love her fat without making her feel more insecure, or if that is even possible. She's been insecure about her body, which I assume is fine. How do I tell her that I prefer her this way as opposed to being thin? She can do whatever she wants with her body, but I'd like to tell her that I like the love and make her feel, he put that in quotes, if you know what that means, comfortable without calling her fat. I tell her over and over that she looks good, but for some reason I want to be more specific and tell her I prefer her now as opposed to before. I'm not sure what it is about the fat exactly. Like the way he keeps saying the fat. Whew. Maybe it's just more uniquely her than rather than just being another skinny girl. She's soft, supple, and unique, and I love it. Maybe I should just let it go and tell her that she's beautiful. But I wanted to know I like the fat, sir. Okay, let me finish this. FYI, I'm moderately attractive and in good shape. I'm not sure if it matters, but this isn't a situation where fat likes fat. I just want her to feel comfortable with herself and attractive because that is what I think about her. Well, I'm going to tell you, you're not going to say, I like the fat. You're not going to say that. What you're going to say is, you look good when you were slim and, whatever you look like, but, now you're more Rubenesque. You're more, you're more cushy and curvy. It's just more womanly. It's just really sexy to me. You're going to use words like that, okay? You're going to say stuff like that. Because, you look at them old artists, old paintings, and all the women where, had those, what they call Rubenesque bodies, with, little fat rolls and little chubby thighs and, little belly and stuff like that. But I mean, that was the standard of beauty in those days. And for many men, it still is quiet as it's kept. They don't like to tell nobody because other men tease and taunt them. But you talking about your wife. So you can just praise her as much as you want to. But I caution you, don't say things like, honey, I like all that fat you have. That's not gonna work too well. She's not gonna like she's not gonna, and you don't want to call her a BBW either. That's not sexy. You want to say, you want to use some artist like, you know romantic terms, like there's just more woman up for you to love, or the phrase that they use in Texas, dogs bury bones. There you go. They say dogs bury bones. And so then you feel like, oh shit, wait a minute. Yeah. Oh, you see, there they go. Somebody say, tell her that she's super fire. And she got you all burnt to, wait, got you on fire all day. There you go. See, Lee just hit the nail on the head. There you go. There you go. Yep. And yeah, they say that too, Mary Elizabeth, more cushion for the pushing. But I don't know if he wants to say that to his wife. That's kind of a, like a jokey thing. It depends on her sense of humor. She might not appreciate it. But you never go wrong if you say it in a way that it's romantic, and that she's womanly and that she's attractive and she's sexy to you, and those kind of things. Those are kind of words that you want to use and say, I just love it. When I hug you, it's just, you just feel like it's a woman in my arms. Stuff like that. You want to say stuff like that. You don't want to use the F word. That's not gonna work, sir. And here we go. Oh, that page is blank. Our last question of the day, the bonus question that Candace added, question number 26. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Atlanta. She is a Cancer, and the male in question is 35 to 41. He is also a Cancer. Oh my, two Cancers together. Hello, Miss Cooper. I am married to a great man who is currently anticipating his mother passing. She is 76 years old and contracted COVID. Oh boy. We found out this past Saturday. She is in critical care, and the other family members have refused to put her on a ventilator. I am asking for advice on how to best support him through this situation. I am not good with death, and I'm scared this might break him emotionally. He's taking it really hard, of course. I've only experienced death of a close loved one when I was a small child. Can you give me some tips on how to remain supportive and not take his attitude personally? Thank you for all that you do. I love your advice. Wow, this is hard. And why is this last when I'm all tired on my 3 hours of sleep yesterday? This is hard. You don't say, if you guys are like, church going folks, you into any kind of religious or spiritual belief. Usually that's when people fall back on that kind of stuff for this. Since you didn't mention it, I'm going to assume not. But if you are, that's one source of some people find comfort in that. Reading scriptures or going to church and praying and all this kind of stuff. For me, I'm not that great with death either. I take it, kind of a matter of fact thing. I feel like, we start dying the second we are born and start to take our first breath. So to me, there's not all this romanticism, connected with people dying. Yeah, you're sad because they've moved on to, some other place. You can't see them anymore. You can't laugh with them. If it's your mate, you can't, sleep with them and hold hands with them and kiss on them and hug on them and stuff like that. Your parents, you used to talking and laughing with them. They depart their wisdom and share, life stories with you and raise you up and teach you. You know, we have a lot of ties to those people. That's what he's going to be missing. Can you replace that? No. Is there anything that you can do about, to make him feel better? Not really. It's just something he's going to have to go through. He's probably somewhat angry too. That's going to be mixed in with his grief, because he's going to be angry at those other relatives that he's going to feel like, pushed her to die because they didn't get the ventilator. But quiet as it's kept, the statistics say the ventilators don't really help, and in some cases make it worse. So, and at 76, she's lived a good life. She can go. But what you have to do is, start telling him that he needs to figure out how to, he needs to go in there and talk to her. He needs to tell her everything that he wanted to tell her that he's been holding back, holding on to. He needs to purge himself and, tell him that. That's what he needs to do. He needs to go in there and hold her hand. And, they say the hearing is the last thing to go. They may not be able to see you or respond, but people can hear you. They hear you, because if you're even in a coma, they're talking to them and tell them a side story, and the people will start to cry. So they hear it. They just can't move their body to respond, but they hear and they're reacting emotionally. So he needs to tell his mother what he wants to tell her, how much he loves her, how much he appreciated everything that she did for him, how, I guess she's going to go and see, see daddy and her sisters and brothers, or, whatever you guys going to have a big reunion. It's going to be all right. You'll be all right. Of course, I hate to see you go because I'm going to miss you, but I don't want you to feel like, you have to hang around here in pain because of me. You've got to try to support him to give her permission to go. Give her the permission to go. A lot of people want to leave because they're in excruciating pain, but they stay because the family members, they feel guilty, and because the family member doesn't want to let them go. So you have to, try to talk to him to give him that kind of encouragement to do what he needs to say, and then to tell her that it's okay to go, and that he's gonna miss her, but he loves her, and he'll see her on the other side, something like that. And that's the best that I can recommend. This is kind of heavy for this goofy ass advice column, but this is something that I firmly believe. It's I did a lot of research on death after my husband died. I read so many books, and I read every book in the library and about it, and all these different philosophies about what happens to us after we die. I just read like hundreds of books about it. And as best as I, can determine, that seemed to be the most overriding train of thought is that there's like an in-between. I think they call it purgatory in the Bible, but it's not really like that. But basically, you can, like some people say, they attend their own funerals, for instance. They attend the funeral, they see everything. They go to the burial site, they know who's grieving for them, and they know everything, right? They can't do anything about it, but their spirit, their consciousness is still here. And so you have to give them permission to go, because they're not supposed to be here. They're supposed to be on to their next level of existence. And part of it is him saying goodbye to her and giving her permission to go. So, I could probably do that, but who's going to sit there and listen to all these hours? I've been doing this show. When did I start doing What the Fuck Tuesday, Shay? We started doing this. Shay was almost from the very beginning. At least, I don't know, it was like 2016, 17, something like that. It's been a while. And we didn't always call it this, and I didn't do it every week, but I still did it, and it was just, whatever. But now it's a weekly event. Yeah, that's what because I was trying to understand. A lot of things happen. One night I'll tell you guys about what happened the night that he died, and the next couple of nights. It was interesting. And that's when I came to believe that people are here, because I know he was here. And I'll tell you all about it. It was 2017, y'all. That's too long. 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So this is the 6th year. Wow. Seemed longer. Seemed like it's been about 50 years. Because I did used to do it on Blog Talk Radio too, but that not on YouTube. But anyway, that was the first show for February of 2022. We got 20. Well, let's see, because some days there's two shows. Like there's two, like a live stream and an upload. So I had so many guests. Some of the days I had to put two shows on. So you guys are in for a lot of treats. Take a look on the community wall. I posted the index or what they call agenda or whatever of calendar events for the first 3 weeks. I still have to finish the last week though. And you guys can get an idea of what kind of topics are coming up so that you can, get an idea of which shows you want to make sure you don't miss. Then you go on that page and you set a reminder for yourself. So it'll, ping your phone and say, okay, this is the show. And then you go, ooh, and you just press the button and you don't miss it. Okay, that's very important. So in the meantime, you guys, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and then share a video or two. We got a bunch of stuff coming up that's going to be really, really good all month long. And I will see you guys actually tomorrow. Every day this month, I'll say, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Because it's February. Video-A-Day Debruary. Once again, a fifth annual one. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. We got a live stream on deck. So check out the community wall for the topic. And I'll see you there, 6 o'clock. Bye-bye.